Apple has just released the announcement or promo, something like that, of the iPhone SE3. And I might not have the iPhone SE3 with me, but what I do have is the iPhone SE2. There are differences between these, but I don't think that's much. So let's dive right into it. So, hello guys, welcome to my channel. Today's video would be reviewing the iPhone SE2. And let's get started. So, first of all, I'd like to start with the box. So, this is the box in which this thing came, and it's a super satisfying box, super Apple feeling box, and it looks pretty luxurious. The box, it's awesome. We have this little 3D like the iPhone illustration over here. It's a little 3D like, and there are bulgings and depression here and there. Looks pretty cool. And here we have iPhone written over here in red color, as this is a red iPhone, product red iPhone. We have product red written over here. We have iPhone, Apple logo, iPhone, Apple logo. And these two things over here are probably the most expensive thing all around this box. Apple logo, piece and piece. Now let's open it. Oh, that's satisfying. I love it. And the way it closes, it's also satisfying. Okay, I'm just gonna remove it. And taking this off, just that. And here we have this thing in which we have some text, the Apple sticker. I think we already took one of these stickers. We have this illustration, and this just simple illustration over here is I don't know if they took that much time and effort, they put that much time and effort into this, but it all seems to me that they've put a lot of time and effort and planning into making this one card. It's all text. We have this SIM ejector tool right here. And we have this thing. Okay, this is actually a little peculiar. It's a little special thing, which is actually cool. It comes with the red iPhone, the product red thing, and behind we have written that this here we have product red written over here, and on the back side of that we have, in partnership with Red, Apple will contribute a portion of your iPhone purchase to the Global Fund to support HIV/AIDS programs and help deliver an AIDS-free generation. Learn more or donate at www.red.org. And the red is actually capital. I'll just display this on the screen. And copyright 2020 Apple Inc. all rights reserved, printed in China, all those things. And I'm just gonna close it. That is this, designed by Apple in California. That is this. And then we have this thing in which the headphones came. And yeah, the headphones are pretty decent quality, good quality actually, but there's a point I want to say, but I don't want to disclose it yet, but you might have already known, so I'm just gonna say it. It had the headphone comes with the Lightning or Thunderbolt. What was it? Lightning or Thunderbolt? I often get confused with these two. So either of those, and yeah, it can be put only over here, as we don't have a headphone jack. Apple doesn't like headphone jacks anymore. I think it's like that. Okay, so that's about this, and this is the box, and I'm just gonna keep it here. So the box is actually pretty luxurious, awesome looking thing, and just what am I saying? This Apple's logos over here itself makes it super expensive. like feeling for me. Okay, next what I want to talk about is the looks on this thing. It actually looks pretty awesome, pretty decent. The backside here we have, I guess it's glass, super smooth glass, super awesome feeling. It's super cool. And then we have this thing, which is probably the most expensive thing on this whole iPhone, and it's kind of like a mirror. I look pretty good, right? And here we have product red written over here. We have the camera with a little bump, and the flashlight and some dot probably for some speaker or mic or something like that. I don't know. And for sure, I know it for sure that. And here we have, I think it's metal. It feels like metal to me. And this back is actually giving it, contributing to its looks way higher than the sides according to me. And over here we have absolutely nothing, I guess. Yeah, it's just red. That's it. And here we have the silent button. That thing, the volume up, volume down, and that. And there are little designs here and there. And on this side as well, there are these designs. And the power button, the SIM ejector, and on the underside we have these, which are probably for speakers, these holes. And this is the lightning or thunderbolt port for the iPhone. So that is the, and the front. Look at that. The old iPhone feel has been maintained in this guy right here. The front is super cool. It has this what do we call it? This too big notch, extended notch. Like this whole portion is covered by the notch. This whole portion is covered by the under notch. And here we have the home button, which also happens to be the Touch ID fingerprint sensor. So here we have the fingerprint sensor and the Touch ID, and here we have the selfie camera. Here we have probably speakers used while calling. That is the looks. Looks pretty cool, crispy Apple feel, and I like the way that they have maintained the iconic home button, if you ask me, in this thing. So I guess this is known as this should be called the iconic home button, or iconic recent tap button, or fingerprint button, whatever. I think it's better with iconic home button. If you ask me, I'd probably say that. Probably. Not sure, maybe I'd change it. So this is actually pretty cool thing about this phone. They have maintained that old classic iPhones feel on this. Maybe it's meant for that. And the back reminds me a bit about the iPhone XR or XR. I think it's XR. It does remind me a little about the iPhone XR. And now the next one, the storage. So the storage on this device is 64 GB, and the RAM on this is 3 GB, and yeah, so the storage is actually pretty recent, but 3 GB RAM after paying all this money, it's a bit low, I guess. Sorry, we actually got a call. So yeah, 64 GB storage and 3 GB RAM for an iPhone after paying all these, all this much money is, I think it's actually pretty low. Like after we've paid all this money, like I feel like it's a bit of kind of like a cheating. I think they should have gave us at least 4 GB RAM for this. and instead they gave us only 3 GB RAM and 64 GB storage. I mean 64 GB storage, I'm okay with that, but the 4 GB, the 3 GB RAM, not okay with that. I would have liked it 4 GB, but Apple is terrible at paperwork. But yet, even if it is only 3 GB RAM on this, I feel like using an 8 GB RAM phone, the like the IQ Z3 5G, which I've already unboxed and reviewed in one of my previous videos. Was that an ad? Okay, so that has 8 GB RAM, and this has 3 GB RAM. This, its performance, I don't know if it's better than that, but I'm pretty sure that this is as equal as that. But this is an iPhone, and I'm not saying this is better than that. I don't know about that, but I'm pretty sure it's equal to that. It might be better than that. So 3 GB RAM, I'm not okay with that in paperwork, but that doesn't really affect the performance of this. I think this is pretty decently working according to me. And then we have a Retina HD display, super cool. Then we have the A13 processor, super fast. And yeah, let me just okay, so this thing is super buttery, like it's very fast. It feels like moving butter or melting butter. It is super buttery like feel that we get with this super accurately responsive screen. I think super awesome. I think it's really cool, really awesome. It's like I don't think I've played much games with this, but I do think I've played 1 or 2 times, or I have at least seen playing. So this is super awesome for gaming. And for camera, this has a 12 MP camera, and it has 4K at 24 FPS, 30 FPS, and 1080p at 30 FPS and 60 FPS, and 720p at just 30 FPS. And so I'll just show a video shot on this iPhone. Okay, now about the selfie camera. We have a 7MP camera with 1080p at 30 FPS, and also a 720p at 30 FPS one. Okay, so I'll just show you guys a video shot on the selfie camera of this phone. So the 12MP and 7MP might seem pretty low on the paperwork as compared to the 64MP, 108MP cameras, etc. But it isn't really. Like, taking a video with this one is, according to me, it is better than the Redmi Note 8 that I've been using for a couple of years, and Realme C2, in which you're seeing me already. So, and okay, now about the photo clarity. The photo took on this phone is okay. So I'll try to place photo took on the rear camera somewhere around here. So the photo took on this phone with the rear camera and the selfie camera. I put one with the selfie camera here. So these two are these are super awesome in clarity, and it feels like it feels really good. And thinking about the fact that it's took just on a 7MP and 12MP camera, that is actually pretty awesome. And this phone doesn't have like hundreds of cameras here and there and there. It just has one camera over here and one over here. It doesn't have millions of cameras or 5, 6, 4 cameras or something over here and here. It just has one camera here, and I think it outperforms the Redmi Note 8 with 4 or 5 cameras or 3. I think it outperforms that. This is super cool. And the fingerprint sensor, my fingerprint is not on that. Yeah, I don't think it's mine. So it's actually pretty responsive. Just keep your finger, boom. And this button right here is it isn't a button actually. It is actually just it works with haptic reply. It feels like a button. It's really satisfying. It's it it feels like a real button, but it isn't. Like when its charge is gone or something, try pressing it. It will probably feel like pressing on a table or brick or something. It isn't a button. There's something like a haptic feedback which we get, and it makes us feel that it's a button, but it isn't. That's awesome. And so, and this phone is literally this small. I can hold the whole of this phone in my hand easily. It's a little tough, but yeah, it's really small. So one thing that can make you like this phone really, really, really much, that might, I think it will, it might, I think, is that this screen of this phone is too small. And and that is the same thing that can make you feel that this phone is not that good. Like, the screen is too small. On the positive side, we get full control over our screen. I can touch almost every portion of my screen just with one hand. Full control of the screen just with one hand. Positive. On the negative side, it's too small compared with the little long phone. Like, let's take the Redmi Note 8 itself. It's really small. It is, I think, as small as a cell phone or something. Almost. So it can be seen in a negative side and a positive side, according to me. And I think being a small thing does matter in a couple of things. Like, if you are watching a YouTube video on this, sometimes you might lose some tiny details maybe. But on the positive side, just so small you can hold in the palm of your hand, single hand. I like this one. So on a scale of 10, I will give it a 9 out of 10. I like it so much. And I guess that's all for this one. So that was fun. Thanks for watching. Like, share, and subscribe. In the next video, goodbye.